Now, before we dive into some of these exchanges and buy our first cryptocurrencies, we need to learn a few concepts that are common to all exchanges. Now, these are the concepts of orders, order books, and time of sales. You might have heard of these before if you've traded stocks, Forex, or any other financial products. They're really basically the same thing. So you have orders, order books, and time of sales. Let's see them in action. So let's go on one of these exchanges. I'll go on Bitfinex, bitfinex.com. So this is one of the exchanges. I'll click View Demo instead of opening an account. Now, all the exchanges have very similar layouts. Okay. First of all, you're going to have an order book. Now, what is an order book? It's the list of all the buyers and all the sellers at that moment. Here, you can see that there's an order book right here. And in this order book, it's the order book for Bitcoin to USD. So people want to buy Bitcoins using US dollars. On the left side, you have all the buyers, the price that they want to buy at. So it goes from highest price to lowest price. The quantity that they want to buy. So somebody wants to buy 3 Bitcoin, somebody wants to buy 0.11, somebody wants to buy 25. For this specific exchange, they have a total that aggregates all the amounts and has a total. And they actually have a very nice, green graph here that shows you the size of the buyers. So here you see that 25 buy order has a bigger impact on the total amount of buys at that price. So you can see here that there's a big buyer at this level. And then, more and more buyers. The count here is how many people are at that price. So if you have several people that want to buy at the same price, the count might be more. And now you have at the other side the sellers. And the sellers are going to go from the lowest price to the highest price. So in all order books, it's price priority, then time priority. So if two people have different prices, the person who has the best price gets priority, is at the top of the book. If two people have the same price, then it's time priority. Who came first will be in line first to get filled when a buyer or seller comes in. So you have all the buyers on the buy side, all the seller on the sell side, and this gives you an indication of what is the supply and demand for this cryptocurrency is. Now, if I want to buy this crypto, which is Bitcoin USD, how would I do that? I would do that by sending an order. Now, all exchanges also have the same type of order form. Here, you have the order form that says, how do you want to buy? You can buy by using a market order or limit order. Now, market order is an order that's going to buy directly at the best price available. So if I say I want to buy 1 Bitcoin, I click buy, and what happens is it goes and gets it from the best seller available. Now, the best seller is here at $7,038.90. So it'll go buy from him. And then if I need to buy more than 2.26 Bitcoins, it'll go buy from this person and then this person and so forth. This is market orders. Now, I highly discourage using market orders ever. It's something I never use. What I always use is limit orders. Now, a limit order puts a price, the maximum price that you're willing to accept when buying or selling. So if I want to buy the same thing, let's say I want to buy 1 Bitcoin, I can say, well, the maximum amount I want to buy at is $7,038.90. And then I can click buy. And that really saves me in case the market really moves up, or in case there was just a very small amount here of a seller and I get a partial fill, I just get that amount. And to get the rest of the order that I want to buy, let's say I want to buy 100 Bitcoins, there's only 0.23 here, and let's say the remaining 100 is way higher at a very bad price. Well, if I send a market order, I'm going to get filled at that bad price. By sending a limit order, I'm saying I want this price or better. Now, if there was a better price, I would get the better price. If there is not, I would get the price that I put in. Now, you see here, the price just went up. It went up to $7,041.80. Now, if I send an order to buy at $7,038.90, what's going to happen with my order? I don't want to buy at $7,041. I'm only willing to pay up to $7,038. So what's going to happen is my order is going to go here on the bid, and it's going to rest in the order book with the other buyers. If a seller comes in later and sells at a low price, I will be there and I might get filled. Now, if the price keeps going up and never goes back to $7,038, well, I would have missed my opportunity and my order would be remaining there even though I never actually got the position. And then maybe the price keeps going up, goes up to 20,000, and I never actually bought because, I put a price that was a bit too low compared to the actual ask price for the best seller, right? So always something to consider. Do I put a low price and wait until the position gets to my price, or do I just buy it from whoever is selling at this moment? Depends the strategy, depends if there's something going on and you really need to get into it. Now, if right now I really want to buy it and I do decide to send a price at 7,041 and let's say I'll put 90 cents. So there's a seller here. I can get executed. If I click send and I put, let's say, 2 Bitcoins and I buy, my order goes here, it gets executed, and then guess what happens? As soon as the execution happens, it pops up here on what we call the time and sales. Now, the time and sales is basically just a list of all the executions that happened. So every time 2 people transact, 2 orders match, there's an execution that happens. And this execution is basically the transaction between the buyer and the seller. Every time this happens, it pops up on the time of sales. And what pops up is the time of the execution, the price. Here it's going to be UTC time, so depending on where you are in the world. The price is going to be next, and then the amount. So how much you got filled. So somebody bought and somebody sold, so there was a transaction between 2 people at 7,032.20 cents for 1.7741 Bitcoins. Now the next person, same price, but it was for 0.0001 Bitcoin. So you have the quantities and the price. Now we see that prices are going up. People are buying at higher and higher prices. You see 7,046 now. And the buyers here, you can see, are putting higher on higher prices. And you can see that there's a bit more buyers on the buy side than sellers on the sell side. And that can give you, a little bit of an indication in the short term of what might happen. Now, that explains what orders are, order books, time of sales. It's common for all exchanges. They all have the same thing. And you know what? This time of sales, do you guys know how charts are drawn? Like this type of chart, when I'm looking at the price, in this situation, I'm looking at the price of Bitcoin. Well, how did I draw this chart? Easy. They drew this chart by taking the last executed price. So let's see, last executed price is 7,053. Let's see here. 7,000. So this is a demo, 7,052. Here we go. 7,052.2, 7,052.2. So every time there's a transaction that happens, it pops up on the time of sales. And as soon as it pops up on the time of sales, we use it to draw the chart. So when you're looking at charts, just remember that what you're looking at is a historical picture of supply and demand. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at historically what was supply and demand, because the supply and demand created a price, a transaction between people, and that transaction was drawn in the chart, right? So this is really what a chart is just a graphical representation of historical supply and demand, right? Historical transactions. Keep that in mind when you're investing, because then you can understand that the only way that the price of a product goes up isn't because it's a great product or it's a great technology, but it's because somebody wants to buy it. And when somebody wants to buy it, he has to go on one of these exchanges, place an order, his order goes in the order book and buys from somebody, and thus pushes the price up, right? So you always want to be buying something that other people are going to buy after you to keep pushing it up, not just because it's a good product. Yeah. Now, if I go on another exchange, let's say Binance, and again, we'll have a walkthrough of that exchange later in another lecture. But look at this. When I get into Binance, it looks very similar, right? And I'll put it on this side here. It looks very similar. What do we have? We have an order book, but here they put the buyers at the bottom. And here they put the sellers on top. So you see buyers 753, 751, 751, 52, 51, and here 758 up to 760 and goes up. So you have the buyers at the bottom, sellers on top. You know, in stocks, we have them one on each side. In cryptocurrencies, a lot of exchanges have them where the buyers are at the bottom, sellers are on top, but some other places like Bitfinex have them on the side as well. And here we have the time of sales, right? And again, here you'll see that the price, the last price that pops up here, they use it to draw the chart. Okay, so same thing in all exchanges. And if I want to buy, I could put, I can click here to select my price and then put the quantity here and click send, and then I could buy or sell. So this is just really something to understand because when we're going to be going on these exchanges, we're going to be using the order book and sending orders to buy and sell these cryptocurrencies. So I'll see you guys in the next lecture.